But why does everyone think you're in charge of the finances? I mean, everyone...
Yeah, no, this is something I've begun to realize because Kody was always telling everybody.
For a long time, everything felt like laughter. It was carefree, wild, and unforgettable. Just pure fun. But that version of the Brown family was long gone. And when Christine's post hit the internet just after midnight, it didn't come with a caption, nor a single word of explanation, just a cropped, grainy scan of what looked unmistakably like a tax document. No one expected it, but everyone knew it meant something. Christine had always been smart, calculating, and quiet, but this felt like checkmate. Viewers were still in their pajamas, brushing off clay face masks, and settling into bed. When the image began to spread like wildfire, blown up, filtered, enhanced it, took over every Sister Wives fan forum on the internet. And in the corner of that mysterious forum, just above a blurry income line, someone spotted it. A red underline, bold, angry, and scribbled above it in all caps, "How?" Christine hadn't said a word, but she didn't have to. The internet caught fire like the 4th of July. Within hours, the rumors exploded. Whispers swirled that the document was tied directly to Kody's personal income, that it revealed a gutting drop in earnings from the year before. But that wasn't what set longtime fans spinning. 'Twas the handwritten note to words, scrawled in the margins and circled not once, but twice, like a whisper hiding inside a scream. Post-sale. Suddenly, this wasn't just about tax figures. It was about timing. It was about the infamous Coyote Pass. And it was about whether Kody had secretly sold part of the land and either made off with more money than he admitted or far less. For viewers who had followed the family for over a decade, this wasn't some petty scandal. It was precision, surgical, cold, and calculated. This was Christine turning a mirror back on the man who'd spent years turning the wives against each other. "Look at yourself," she'd once said. "Really look. This is what ended it. You picked favorites." And the internet believed her. Because if those numbers were even remotely real, the implications were colossal. What else had Kody been hiding all those years before the walls finally caved in? Why release the documents now, months after Christine walked away from everything? And who else besides Christine already knew about the financial dip? Did Robyn, Mary, Janelle? Reddit exploded with theories. Users posted blurry screenshots of the document debating each detail, allegedly. The form was a Schedule C commonly linked to self-employed earnings. It showed a gross revenue line followed by a deduction so sharp it left jaws hanging. Even more explosive was the second, fainter scan tucked beneath it, showing what appeared to be the same form but with wildly different numbers. Different years, or two versions of the same return. No one could confirm, but the questions were deafening. One Reddit user screamed he tried to gaslight all of them, and now this. Another pointed out how cold it was that Christine leaked it without a caption. It's just raw truth handed over to the internet like a torch. Christine didn't deny anything. She didn't need to. Fans, sharp-eyed and obsessive, noticed something telling in the background of her post. A beige marble table, eerily identical to one seen in her Arizona home before the split. Had she held on to this for months? A year? How long had she been? Waiting for the perfect moment to drop the match. And it was the silence, the absolute vacuum from TLC, from Kody, even from Robyn, that made it louder. Not a single statement. Not even a denial. But fans weren't done dissecting the image. In one blurry corner, they zoomed in and found what looked like a tiny income figure that didn't just confirm a dip, hinted at a total collapse. And there, nestled in the top right margin, were two initials. Small, barely legible, but explosive. RB. It didn't take a genius to connect the dots. In the world of Sister Wives, nothing was ever small, and nothing was ever meaningless. The moment fans saw RB, they knew exactly who Christine was pointing to without ever pointing. Robyn Brown, for years. She'd slowly drifted to the center of the Brown universe, her influence growing quietly but undeniably. And now her initials were scratched into the very edge of a potential financial scandal. Christine didn't need to name her. The internet named her for her. Kay posts, tweets, memes, TikToks it all erupted. All of it circling one theory, that the timing of Kody's income drop aligned far too perfectly with the Coyote Pass sale. Until now, that transaction had been hidden in smoke and mirrors. Fans only had guesses. But now there were breadcrumbs, real ones. Allegedly, the sale wasn't executed under Kody's name at all, but under an LLC linked to a family friend who had never appeared on the show. That alone raised questions. But what truly set off alarms was the next detail. Rumors suggested that this LLC passed the property to another company just 3 days before the tax form was submitted. It could be legal, sure, maybe for tax reasons, liability, all that. But in this context, it felt dirty, calculated, especially after fans resurfaced an old interview where Kody bragged about structuring things smart to keep what's ours. That was before the wives left, before the anger, before the world watched him fall apart, and the signature. Oh, that only made it worse. 2 versions of the form, both signed by Kody in unmistakable loops and dramatic slants, but dated 2 weeks apart. The second had a completely different mailing address underneath. Fans began to wonder, was one the original? Was the second a correction? Or worse, was it meant to bury the first? Christine's supporters didn't hold back. They dug through public records, legal filings, and decades-old screenshots to match Kody's signature. The match was clear. The implications, devastating. And still, no response from Kody, no tweet, no denial, no Robyn either. Just silent sand that said everything. Then came the most shocking twist yet. An anonymous user appeared in a popular Sister Wives subreddit, self-proclaimed former crew member known only as Kay. She didn't post documents, she didn't drop names, but what she said changed everything. According to her, after the land sale was finalized, someone from Kody's inner circle allegedly begged TLC production to scrub raw footage, especially anything with mentions of sale numbers, land appraisals, or Kody's private strategies. This wasn't normal, even for Sister Wives. Legal edits happened, sure, but the desperation was new. Kay claims someone whose name she refused to reveal was especially paranoid about Christine being filmed asking too many questions during a shoot. A scene at Coyote Pass where Christine was holding a folded piece of paper and looked visibly irritated. Kay claimed Christine had quietly asked a cameraman if they were allowed to film lies. That footage, it never aired. But fans knew what to do next. They started hunting.
For Robyn, that was significant, and in my mind, I wanted to elevate all my relationships to that point.
They combed through every campfire flicker and every fleeting glance during those picnics, dissecting Christine's tense posture, Robyn's sudden tone shifts, and the way Kody dodged direct answers about the land. One viewer with a sharp eye pointed out an odd jump cut during a conversation right in the middle of Christine questioning why one of the Coyote Pass lots had been reassigned. At the time, it seemed like lazy editing, but now, in light of the leaked tax form, it felt intentional, surgical. Whispers from behind the scenes claim that Robyn may have quietly pushed Kody to sanitize the footage, to erase any clue that could challenge their claim that the land sale was clean and fair. Whether or not that's true, fans were convinced. Something had been canned that Christine still held the original truth. Kay, the anonymous insider who had started it all, even hinted that Christine had her own off-the-record clips, shot quietly on her personal phone, moments captured in real time, outside of TLC's polished control. And if she really did have her own timestamps, her own digital receipts, then the story wasn't just shifting, it was exploding. What no one expected was the resurrection of an old clip. It came from raw, behind-the-scenes footage nearly 7 years old. In it, Kody chuckled with his usual bravado. One day, this land is going to save us or ruin us. Back then, it was just a joke, but today it felt like prophecy, because Christine, it turned out, wasn't finished. Another secret. Another. Bombshell was rumored to be hiding under wraps one. That wasn't just about taxes or land deeds or even Robyn. This one had everything to do with money, real money. Who got it and who didn't. By midweek, the online debate had grown beyond Reddit threads and tax form analysis. A forensic accountant named Jane famous for unpacking celebrity prenups and reality. TV royalty pay scales joined a live stream with a chilling observation. She wasn't affiliated with the Browns, she clarified, but she'd seen enough to speak confidently. She explained how income compression can be used to mask wealth on paper while moving money elsewhere. Not always illegal, she noted, but very suspicious. In Kody's case, she said the red flags were practically waving themselves. The boldest of them all was a line labeled simply consulting fee, with a number that sat comfortably in 6 figures. Tucked just beneath a depreciation write-off, Jane pointed out how the term consulting is often used as a gray zone category difficult to define, easy to manipulate. But here's where it turned fiery. Fans remembered something. Around the same time the documents were dated, Robyn had made some conspicuous purchases. A custom furniture order. A rumored jewelry splurge. Items that insiders estimated reached well into 5-digit territory. Alone, maybe just coincidence. But Sister Wives fans are anything but casual. Tracked dates. Scoured Robyn's Facebook ads. Noticed when she showed up wearing what looked like a brand new emerald-cut necklace custom. Elegant and suspiciously timed just weeks after the land deal closed. Fans immediately asked, who paid for it? Where did the cash come from? And why did it nearly match the leaked consulting fee? Jane, careful but blunt, warned that if this was marital income shared at any point, then Christine might have legal grounds to challenge what was disclosed versus what was spent. And if that necklace was bought from that consulting payout? This wasn't just reality, drama, it was the start of a legal firestorm. That's when the lawyer chatter began. A well-known Utah-based legal blogger claimed she had sources inside Christine's inner circle. And they were saying this leak wasn't spontaneous, it was strategic. Allegedly, Christine had waited for Robyn and Kody to cross a financial line, one that could be proven with receipts. The consulting fee was just the beginning. According to that source, more payments existed. And Christine wasn't just sitting on them, she was preparing to unveil them, one by one. Because the scandal wasn't really about Kody making less money, it was about where the rest of it went and who signed the transfers. Once the scent of mismanaged funds hit the air, fans followed the trail with rabid precision. Then, what they found next sent the fandom into complete chaos. Over a dozen screenshots of PayPal transfers began popping up across private fan groups and Facebook threads, all allegedly linked to business ventures tied to the Brown family. The dates suspiciously clustered in the few weeks leading up to the finalization of the Coyote Pass deal, and the amounts, eye-popping. One for $25,000, another for $78,000, a third listed only as admin retainer for $53,000. None of these matched anything in the Brown family LLC filings, and yet the timing, the usernames, the narrative, they all fit a chilling timeline. These weren't officially verified, no blue check marks or mainstream reports, but to the fans, it was enough. They began matching usernames from the blurred PayPal receipts to archived emails once publicly visible in LLC documents. And at the center of it all, it's a single PayPal account rumored to be connected directly to Robyn. That's when the silence around Christine became deafening again. Rumors flew that she was the one who saved the screenshots in the first place. A fan blog with alleged ties to locals and Flagstaff claimed that Christine had once been part of a shared group chat with the family, back when they still pretended to operate as a financial unit. They used it to talk filming schedules, receipts, reimbursements. But as the land drama intensified, so did the tension inside the group. Allegedly, that chat turned sour, heated, focused entirely on money. And according to the blog, Christine had screenshotted key moments messages. Arguments, instructions, evidence, and she'd kept it all waiting. This, they said, was that moment. Those close to the situation say she's still holding even. More, something concrete. Not just vague references, but the message that explains the motive. The message that allegedly states who gave the orders and what the money was truly for. That's the line between messy gossip and full-scale scandal. And if Christine has that, if she has a paper trail and a digital fingerprint, then Kody and Robyn's silence makes sense. Because despite the PR comms, sources say panic has erupted behind closed doors. Vendors linked to Robyn's recent purchases have allegedly been contacted quietly. Some asked to confirm or deny past transactions, including orders made as far back as the fall. It looks to some like an attempt to clean the mess before the next shoe drops. But Christine might not be the only one with access. Because suddenly, a name long absent from the drama began to resurface. A name no one expected to hear again. But if the whispers are true, she's about to speak. And she was there when the money moved. Was supposed to be innocent. It's a simple kid's birthday. Party, cupcakes, balloons, a unicorn piñata for Ariella. But what unfolded was anything but a celebration. Christine watched from afar, a quiet storm brewing behind her eyes. She had held her tongue for far too long, swallowing back years of financial betrayal and mismanagement. But now it was time to reveal the truth, not just for her own healing, but for every woman who had ever been deceived by someone they once trusted. The leaked tax documents weren't a petty jab, they were a reckoning. These weren't just numbers. They were a brutal testament to how much Kody had lost, how quickly his empire was slipping, and how devastating the consequences would be. What stung most wasn't just the income/it, was the fact that Kody had tried to hide it, tried to play strong when everything was crumbling behind closed doors. And Christine, tired of the lies, tired of protecting him, let the world see it. All Kody's reaction was instant and furious. The moment the leak spread online and whispers became full-blown shouts, he stormed into his living room, slamming the documents down on the table in front of Robyn. "You think this was her, Christine?" he barked, voice hoarse and strained. Robyn's hands trembled as she picked up the papers. The numbers didn't lie, his income nearly halved. The land sale had been disastrous, not the victory he'd bragged about to everyone. Robyn's lip quivered, not just from shock, but from fear. Fear of what this meant. Fear of who else might come after them. And maybe, just maybe, fear that Christine had finally beaten them at their own game. Meanwhile, Mary and Janelle received the same news through hushed group messages. Christine hadn't told them directly, but they knew her style. This was her revenge. Subtle, smart, and scathing. Janelle couldn't hide her smirk. "About time someone made him bleed," she muttered under her breath. Mary, torn between loyalty to the past and a sense of liberation, sat quietly. She knew Kody had destroyed more than just relationships. He'd buried trust, love, and now his finances. The public was eating it up. Forums exploded. Hashtags like hashtag KODY tax truth and hashtag Christine exposed him were trending for hours. People weren't just shocked, they were enraged. They felt duped by the man who once preached about unity and family, only to funnel money into lands and luxuries while neglecting emotional debts. Robyn was spiraling. In the days following the leak, she barely left the bedroom. Cameras weren't allowed inside, but sources close to the family confirmed she was inconsolable. The once polished, composed woman now sat in the dark, blinds drawn, crying over the loss not just of money, but of image. For Robyn, appearance had always mattered. Her tears weren't just about Kody's halved income. They were about the crumbling pedestal she had stood on for so long. "Christine humiliated us," she whispered one night, voice cracking. "She burned everything we built." But what had they built? Really? A kingdom of control? A throne made of illusions? Christine didn't burn it. She simply opened the blinds, and Kody. He was unraveling. Every phone call from his accountant, every message from TLC's legal team, every DM flooding his socials with scorn, it all chipped away at his armor. He no longer walked into rooms with the same arrogance. He no longer spoke about investments or expansion. He was shrinking. And in that smallness, a new truth emerged. Kody Brown had been the architect of his own downfall. Christine had only pointed to the cracks. Even TLC couldn't stay quiet. The network released a vague but firm statement, noting that financial transparency was essential for any ongoing partnerships. Behind the scenes, they were panicking. Kody was no longer the golden goose, he was a liability. And Christine? Was the phoenix rising, powerful, unbothered? She didn't gloat publicly, didn't dance in the flames. But those close to her say she was calm, even joyful. She was finally free. The final blow came when court documents started circulating, showing Christine had legally distanced herself from any shared debt connected to the land or past business ventures with Kody. That meant while he floundered, she soared untouched. It was a strategic move, calculated, clever, and above all, cold. But she wasn't cruel. She was surviving. She had daughters to protect, a future to rebuild, and a dignity that was finally hers again. The internet hailed her a queen. Women everywhere applauded her. Hashtag Christine wins trended for days. Meanwhile, Robyn and Kody retreated into shadows, their silence louder than any denial. In the end, Christine didn't just leak documents, she ignited a movement. A message to every woman silenced in a relationship. Speak, expose, reclaim, and as the dust settled on Coyote Pass, only one figure stood tall: Christine. Not as a victim, not as an ex-wife, but as a storm that couldn't be stopped. The world watched. And for once, they weren't watching Kody.